All right, welcome back. Welcome back. So, we're going to go a little bit deeper. So, we talked about what our traditions are, but I want to know more about Kwanzaa.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, one of the things about Kwanzaa is that it's a celebration, but it's also an educational opportunity. A lot of things that you learn would be taught to you in Swahili.
Wow.
For example, when you have the kinara, which is what holds the 7 candles, which represents each principle. And that's on a kinara, which is a mat. And behind, they would hang a red, black, and green flag called a bandera ya tafia.
Oh.
So you get to learn Swahili as a process.
Wow.
You at the end of Kwanzaa on the 1st, there is a karamu, which is fiesta, and gifts are given, and they're not just random gifts just to give gifts. They're based on productivity of the child throughout the year.
Oh, really?
That's good.
Preferably handmade, but if not, of course they can purchase. And then usually there's at the karamu, they pass around something called a kikombe cha umoja, which is a unity cup. And so usually the elder would say something and the cup is passed around and everybody would take a sip of the cup, signifying family unity.
Wow. Now that is something special. That is amazing.
Nia, Imani,
Kuji shagulia,
Kuji Shaguli,
ujima ujama,
Ujima, Ujama,
kumba.
Kumba.
The name of my church is Swahili, and it means faith. Imani is the name of
Imani.
my
Oh,
church.
yes,
It
yes.
means faith. It's the faith house.
Oh,
Yes.
That's awesome.
That is
That's what
amazing. And what I liked is when you said that they give the gifts based on your productivity for the year.
yes. I like that.
That's amazing.
Right.
That is amazing.
But one of the things you have to remember, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, no worries. Go ahead.
Sorry, one of the things that growing up in a Black revolutionary household, one of the things I always was told was that we don't want you to be victims of commercialism. So,
Now see, clock
it,
clock
yes.
it. Wait a minute, and that is what. Now I didn't have Kwanzaa. I couldn't even spell it, but but I had common sense, and I didn't want my kids to be victims of this society, and I did not want, and that's what we talked about the other day, and we
Yes.
said that we don't want to program our children to think that this is the way life is supposed to be.
Yes. I grew up where we had a whole bunch of church services, and Kwanzaa was one of the things that, they spoke on.
Yes.
However, they never really presented it like you just did. And so I didn't really understand the foundation. I knew it was a different way of celebrating the holidays. It had candles, and you had some gifts there. That's what I knew.
Yeah.
But growing up, if I would have had that understanding, I think I would have stayed within the holiday, the Kwanzaa tradition, because that's a teaching lesson for all of us, even as an adult. I mean, I love
Absolutely.
that.
Well, it's never too late.
It's
It's coming up.
right.
It's next month.
It is.
Say less.
Well, now we might have to talk some more.
Yes.
I don't want to do no holiday. I don't want to be in the kitchen. I don't want to cook. I don't want to do any of that. I don't. You know what? I literally just did a post the other day, and I said I was sharing with the community. I said to people that are trying to be, the who's who, and I got my kids
No
this, and I,
pajamas.
and then they taking pictures, trying to show the food and all of that. Go take somebody's picture off their page and put it on your page.
Somebody had this dinner.
It's not, and they're commercializing everything.
Everything.
You're going
Yes.
broke to please people on social
Pajamas,
media.
all the stuff.
I'm not doing that.
Right.
Go put on them pajamas. Just go put some on.
Got you last year.
Exactly.
And what I shared is that during the time that I was having a difficult time, because there are people out there right now that are having a difficult time,
Yes.
and we're worried about being like the people on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and whoever the mother folks is. I'm not doing that.
Right.
I paid all of my rent.
Yes.
I paid my car note, so it's not going to get repoed.
Right.
I paid my rent, so we're not going to get an eviction notice. I said, you know, we having for Thanksgiving. I said, what, Mommy? I said, a pizza.
Hey.
Okay.
I said, and guess what? It got everything on it.
There you go.
What? And we sat down, made a little tent, and binge watched movies and laughed, and they got to watch whatever they wanted to,
Mhm.
and it was bonding.
Yes.
I was loving them, and that's the reason why people want to know why my kids call me all the time, and it's because I bonded with them.
Built
And
that
I
connection,
I built a connection. I wanted them to know that they could talk to me about anything.
Right.
And I don't need tradition, somebody's tradition. Now, if I can pause,
Say that again.
if I can pause and say that when you hear the Indians talk about this tradition, it's not favorable. So we're rushing out to celebrate something that was painful for somebody else.
Right.
Yes.
So we got to. That's why knowing your history is so important.
Absolutely.
You know, and when I found out, I said, then why am I celebrating something that other people cringe about? They killed all these folks and then said, let's have Thanksgiving. I was about to say, the devil. What? What? So these traditions are, we have to be careful what traditions we're
Yes.
feeding and programming our children with.
I
Absolutely.
agree.
Absolutely.
I had one little, I want these tennis
And they expensive tennis shoes
Yeah,
too.
they're not cheap at all.
Well, the first time I told my mother that I wanted something, she said, you got to go get a job so you can get it.
Right.
That's a
Yes.
concept.
I think families that I grew up with had the same concept. But
Right.
we're gonna get more into that after this break.